what it's all about. So these cold days, being that I'm a Southern California, other than just hating them, remind me of the few days when I was in elementary school when you couldn't go outside because it was raining. And all the fun games you would play inside. Now, how many of you had cold days or snow days or rain days and you remember the time you got to play inside? All those good old games like Heads Up, 7-Up, and Duck, Duck, Goose, and all those sorts of things. Well, today I'm going to talk about one of those games that has stayed with me all these years. And to begin, I'm going to ask all of you to participate with me. So please stand, step back from the table, and be prepared. Now, I don't think you need any extra training. I think once I get started, you'll be good to go. And just join with me. This is about reclaiming that good time. Are you ready? You put your right hand in, you put your right hand down, you put your right hand in, and you shake it all about. There you go. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Hokey pokey! Okay, everyone sit down. Thank you so much. So the question is, what did we all just do? Did we just do a silly kids game? Or did we just do a satanic ritual? Or a hate crime? Oh yes, there is controversy about the hokey pokey. And we're going to talk about it tonight. The controversy begins with when did the hokey pokey begin? That's really the controversy, and when did it begin? Some person on Ask.com was like, it began in 1975, and they put all these people's names, and I was like, what? And I saw the first answer, and the lady was like, you don't know what you're talking about. I danced to the hokey pokey when I was like in elementary school, and she's saying that's in the 1950s. And I'm like, yeah, I danced to the hokey pokey, the record. My teacher had a record when I was in the first grade. Now I'm going to say the year, so everyone take a deep breath. That was in 1969. I know, you can't believe it. So the hokey pokey didn't start in 1975. But when it did start, it's hard to say. Did it start in the 40s as a game in Great Britain so that while they were being blasted by the Nazis, people could kind of do something fun and silly? If that's the case, we did just do a fun kids game. But what if the hokey pokey is something else? Now, I call it a satanic ritual. It's pre-Christian, pagan ritual. Say, well, why would we do that? Haven't you ever seen the Indians? Yeah, right? They're not, it sounds like ha-ya to us, but it's actually an incantation. And that moves and those dance are a part of their ritual to connect with their spirits. Same with Africans, right? They're like, hey, Okay, to us it's like, But again, it's an incantation. The movements have a meaning. It's about inviting the spirit or letting yourself go. So those sounds are actually incantations. We all know magic words. You heard a magician say it. Abracadabra. Well, here's another incantation. Hocus pocus, or hokey pokey. Now, it could also be a hate crime. In Scotland in 2008, they were considering to ban the hokey pokey and consider it a hate crime. Because you say, well, good Lord, why? Because the hokey pokey, hand in, hand out, foot in, foot out, was a Protestant way of making fun of the Catholic liturgy. Have you ever seen the priests? They pick up the host, they do this, they do that, they move forward, they shake this and shake that. And so the Scottish Parliament was very seriously considering banning the hokey pokey, and if you did the hokey pokey, you would be committing a hate crime. Now I know you guys are like, what, the hokey pokey? I didn't know it was all that. I did it when I was a kid. I understand. I think there's more to the hokey pokey, and it's in the end. That's what it's all about. You start with one hand, then your other hand, then your leg. But really, what is life all about? It's not putting some of yourself in. It's about putting your whole self in. And when you give yourself wholly, you may need to take a step back from some situations, but then you can step back in. Sometimes you gotta just look at folks. I got some crazy people at work who were just, ooh, they wanna see me act like a black woman. I'm trying to control her. Sometimes I just gotta shake it all out. When we give ourselves whole, fully, put ourselves out there, sometimes you gotta turn yourself around, being who you are holistically. That's what it's all about. Toastmasters.